Bailamos, bailamos, bailamos por libres. Bailamos, bailamos, bailamos por libres. Bailamos, bailamos, bailamos por libres. Bailamos, bailamos, bailamos por libres.
Well, welcome back to season 6 of the Unshakable Woman podcast. So excited for the guests we have on. But first, let me say thank you. Thank you to Teresa J for always bringing some great Christian sounds to the podcast, and bless you on your journey, your music journey, your stage journey, and all that you have going on. But today I want to share with you an amazing woman who was referred to this podcast by a truly good friend of mine. And when I tell you, my friend just has all the best friends, all the most amazing women that I've ever met. Welcome to our show. We will call her Kim. She is known as Officiant Kim, but we're just going to call her Kim or Lady Kim. Welcome to the show, Kim. How are you today?
I am fantastic. Thank you, Cheryl, for having me. It is an absolute delight and honor to be in this space.
Well, we are grateful that you took the time out of your busy schedule to be with us. And this season, we are celebrating women who are already walking in their purpose-driven life. And you have something a little different to share with our viewers today. And we're going to talk about celebrating milestones. So, Kim, why is it important for us to celebrate milestones as we are walking on our purpose-driven life?
Celebrating milestones are highlighting and showcasing who you are as an individual, as a couple, as a parent, as a family. And it's thoughtfully and intentionally sharing and telling your story. Most folks have a story where it's a journey, it's a process of them overcoming some challenges, but some victories as well. And each story is noteworthy and should be told, and not just told, but celebrated. Cheryl, we live in a society where there are so many negative influences, so much that pulls on each and every one of us. And we have to stop and be intentional about the victories. I consider myself an optimistic person.
Okay.
And that has come with prayer. It's come with influence by my dad and by my grandmother. I will forever, along with God, I'll first that goes without saying, but I would attribute the two of those folks for who I am today. And I love to share what has been poured into me with my fellow sister. And
so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I thought you were taking a break there. Finish your thought.
I was just going to say, I love to share that with my fellow sister. I do not take for granted that everyone has that shoulder to shoulder support. I don't take for granted that everyone doesn't have that cheerleader in their corner. Everyone doesn't. But if God allows someone to cross my path, I am there for them to give out what I have, what's been poured and deposited into me to help someone else along the way.
Well, that's what this podcast is about, encouraging our listeners and helping them on their journey. So you speak of celebrating milestones. What's one of the favorite ceremonies that you have done?
Cheryl, I get that question all the time. And I say I love them all.
Yeah.
I absolutely love and adore each and every one because they're all so different. I can officiate a ceremony and I just say, oh, that was just grand. And then the very next day, I'm officiating another one. And I said, oh, that was just spectacular. And so I cannot just narrow it down because the folks that I have the opportunity to serve, they come with such beautiful and colorful and incredible backstories until when we are there at the altar, the platform, or whatever respective venue at the moment, it is just divine and glorious. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that I am walking in my God-given purpose.
Yes.
I know and I believe absolutely there's always growth. There's always more that God has for us. But I just look up and I just say, Lord, I thank you. I thank you.
Yes.
Because I don't take for granted when a couple allows me to officiate any ceremony, the wedding, the baby blessing, the funeral. It's I don't take it lightly.
So with weddings, do you do any pre-coaching beforehand?
I personally do not do pre-coaching or premarital courses or counseling. I strongly, and when I say strongly, I can't emphasize it enough.
Yeah.
Share with the couples, please seek after premarital counseling. And not just premarital, while you're in the marriage, continue to have that relationship coach, that marriage coach.
Yeah.
So no, while I don't, I do strongly encourage it.
I love that. So you provide all these amazing ceremonies. You do weddings, you do children, you do funerals. I think that would be a little tough one for me. Do you provide these ceremonies in one state? Do you travel, or are you just in one community?
Absolutely. I am here to service globally. So
Nice.
no, I don't put myself just in a box.
Nice.
Thus far, I have performed ceremonies in Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, branching off to Wisconsin, but absolutely available to travel globally to support those families, couples that need that support.
Nice. That's great to know. And we'll share that with those who are listening. So you know that she can pick up and get on a plane and come serve you.
Absolutely.
I love it. So are you training any other women to do what it is that you do?
So no, I am a certified life coach. I'll start there.
Okay.
But I do not train as of now any other folks in the officiant arena.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say that I won't in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But my focus right now is heavily on those that I serve,
Mm-hmm.
heavily, because their ceremony for a wedding is a
Mm-hmm.
once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you're married 2 or 3 times. That ceremony is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yes. Right.
You know, I have couples that come to me and they tell me, well, this is my second time around, Kim.
Mm-hmm.
This is my third time around, and I'm ashamed to even tell you.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Mm-hmm.
no.
Mm-hmm.
I am here for you, to support you.
Love that.
So, no, I have not begun to train, but what I do is I will speak on public speaking.
Mm-hmm.
I'll train on that as a part of my certified life coach portion. I
Mm-hmm.
also speak on confidence boosters as well.
Nice.
So I do train in those areas.
I love that. You have a well-rounded offering for a number of demos and for age groups as well. Um, what an amazing profession to be in, you know, and there are some like me who are ordained, but we all have different gifts. But
Mhm,
if there is a young lady who is listening to you speak
mhm.
right now, and she says, you know, I've never thought about that. I think that would be a good road for me to travel. What advice would you give to that young lady who may be listening to you speak?
I would give the advice that my grandmother gave me.
Mhm.
Years ago, my grandmother told me 2 things. She said, Kim, always be yourself.
Mm,
Do not ever try to mimic and duplicate anyone else.
mm,
God gave you what He wanted you to have.
right.
He put in you what He wanted you to fulfill. So always be yourself. And I have carried that near and dear to me.
Mm,
So I would share that one piece of advice to a young lady. God gave you something, whatever
mm,
that something is. He
right.
didn't give it to anyone else. He gave it to you.
Right.
Hold it, nurture it, develop it, and grab hold and don't let go.
You're teaching now.
But yes,
Yes.
and I'm telling you, my grandmother gave me this advice years and years ago. We're coming up on the 10th year anniversary that she has gone to heaven. And she
Mm,
gave me this probably 20 plus years prior to her passing.
mm,
Kim, always be yourself.
mm,
And that has made me steadfast in who I am, never looking to the left or to the right, but knowing without a shadow of a doubt that my strength,
mm.
my source, my being, it comes from the Lord.
Amen.
God has for Kim, it is for Kim.
Yeah.
So I would share that with another young lady. Whatever your name is, insert it there and say,
Yes.
what God has for me,
Right. Right.
it is for me. And
Hmm.
the second piece of advice she said, trust God,
Mm.
trust Him.
In all thy ways.
While that's a small word,
Yes.
so loaded. it is just endlessly loaded, because if we look at what's going on around us, a lot of people shake. Your title is unshakable.
Yes.
Only way you can be unshakable is you have to have trust and a firm foundation.
Right.
You have to trust God when it seemingly looks like things, circumstances, life is lifing.
Right.
Life begins to somewhat crumble right before your eyes, whether it's finances, whether it's a relationship, whether it's children, whether it's the nation, whether it's whatever it is. Trust God. And those two pieces of advice, Cheryl, has been just a peace over me. Because when you trust a person, you can lay down and go to sleep, won't bat your eye, won't roll over, there will be none of that, because there's such a level of trust there, right?
That's
and
right.
if we can have that trust right here on this earth with humans that are fallible, what?
Right.
And we put that trust in our maker. We put that trust in I am that I am. We put that trust in the keeper of our soul.
Amen. Amen. Well,
There's no limit to what
no
God
limit.
can do. No limit.
Absolutely.
So those two pieces of advice I would share with someone else.
I love that. You know, and unshakable, it came from the story of Daniel, you know, and when that came to me and Meshach Abednego, I actually have it in front of my book. It was Meshach Abednego, and I call myself the other Negro. And because I actually saw the journey I was going to take, but God was right there in the fire with me.
Yes.
And when I came out, I didn't smell like smoke. And I said, that's going to be me. I saw it, you know, and purpose is about vision. It's about seeing where you're going, not what you're in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love what you are giving to the community. And I love the essence of celebrating and having ceremonies. That is such a special role that you are carrying. It's a mantle that you are carrying. I love it. You know, I see book, I see documentary. It's something that isn't spoken about enough.
It's not.
It isn't.
It is not. And that's why one reason I'm passionate about it, because your marriage is different than your wedding.
Yes.
Those are two different ceremonies.
Yes.
You give birth to a child. That's dedicating your child back to Christ. It's different than just you delivered the baby. And I'm not minimizing either. I am saying that there is a special place with celebration.
Yes.
Celebrating your individual story. And even with end of life, there is a deep hurt with when someone that we love pass away, without a shadow of a doubt. There are stages of grief, without a shadow of a doubt. But that ceremony, that celebration of life, is a portion of how you can display and tell that individual's life story.
Yes.
Instead of focusing on the hurt, even how they passed, how did they live?
Right.
What did they contribute?
Yes.
What moved them? What stirs up a memory in you as the surviving individual? Because after the funeral, after the memorial, after the celebration of life, grief is going to be there. It's going to tap each and every one of us on the shoulder. I've been there. I know that. But I also know that there is a bit of healing in the celebration.
Yes.
There is also an extension of that individual when you're celebrating their life. Did they live a life that was well lived? Did they and I remember consulting with an individual about a celebration of life, and he said, well, you know, my mom, she was just a homemaker, and she really didn't do much. She didn't really go out. She really didn't have a life that I guess is a lot to talk about. And I told him, oh, absolutely not.
I was going to hear.
No.
How many years?
No. Let's
Yes.
just start off being a mother.
Right.
A mom. We just passed and celebrated Mother's Day, right?
Right.
Outside of Christmas and Thanksgiving, Mother's Day is the most celebrated holiday here in this country and abroad on the calendar. That tells you right there that a mother is certainly noteworthy. Whether she worked outside the home or not, she brought life into the world. She nurtured, she formed, she helped shape. So I shared with this particular individual, no, don't just say she was just a mother.
Right.
Obviously, she did a fine job with you. So don't just say, but there's still a story about her life to be told, to be shared, and most importantly, to be celebrated. And when I finished speaking with him and consulting with him, he was able to say, you know, I didn't think of it that way.
That's
let
beautiful.
me go back and change some things. And I say that to share, that is one of the highlights of what I offer. When someone comes to me, an individual, a family, a couple comes to me and they say, oh, well, we were just thinking of going to the courthouse. Oh, we were just thinking of something real short. Oh, we're really homebodies and we're laid back. That's okay. When we finish our conversation, we're going to have a ceremony that's going to reflect who you are. And most of the time, it's more than just in a cold, starch, stiff courtroom.
Wow.
Most of the time, it's just beyond, oh, I'm just going to cremate my loved one and that'll be the end of that. Most of the time, it's beyond, I'm really not active in church. I really don't go to church, but is it okay that I dedicate my baby? Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Celebrate each milestone in your life, whether it's a vow renewal, whether it's a graduation, whatever it is, it's worth celebrating.
Yeah, that's a book. That's a book. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for coming on our podcast and taking time out of your busy schedule. Do you have any closing words for our viewers?
My closing words would be, again, always be yourself.
Yes.
Trust God. Hold to his unchanging hand.
Amen.
And every day with him gets sweeter than the day before.
Amen. Amen. I like it. Oh, thank you so much, Kim. Can everyone find you at www.officiant-kim.com?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, and for my sisters who generally listen via audio, we'll have that contact information on all of our posts on social posts where you will see the clips and where you will see the YouTube of this podcast. We're so very grateful for you, Miss Kim. Thank you so much for being a part of the Unshakable Woman family, because you are unshakable.
Thank you again, Cheryl, for having me. It's my absolute honor and delight to have been in this space. I can continue to talk about this, but I know we are on a time frame. Again, thank you, Cheryl, and all the best to you and each and every lady that sees and hears and follow what you have created, a special place for them. Many and bountiful blessings to you.
Yes, I decree and I declare that in the name of Jesus. Thank you so very much. And thank you to all of you who have tuned in once again. You could have been with any other podcast, but you took a moment to either listen to a clip or listen to the full show, and we appreciate you. Thank you for being part of the Unshakable Woman story. We are so very grateful to our guest tonight, and we are going to continue to encourage you to walk in your God-given purpose and live unshakable. Thank you again to our special guest, Kim. Make sure you check all of our posts so you know how to follow her. And if you want to have her celebrate life with you, she travels. Thank you again, every single person who has tuned in today. Until next week, continue to walk with love, forgiveness, and of course, live unshakable. This is the Unshakable Woman Podcast. We'll see you next week.